Fantasy characters that started it all. The biggest selling toy product ever created. The most successful TV cartoon series. Masters of the Universe now takes a giant leap forward into a live action motion picture. Starring the sensation of Rocky IV, Dolph Lundgren in the live action adventure Masters of the Universe. The fantasy becomes a reality.
Hello, and welcome back to another great episode of Jazzy Jeff's Trading Card Review Series. And of course, this is part 4 of the best of my favorites. Now, of course, I've been doing the gag in every video of the Bill and Ted's most atrocious trading cards. And in there was a chance to win a trip to San Dimas, California. So I scratched off another one for this episode, and I did not want to forget to show you. And guess what? I lost. Big surprise. But it's still fun scraping these off. It's unbelievable how many I built up thanks to Ryan. So once again, Ryan Kanar, thank you for your contributions to my YouTube. I appreciate it, and all your comments and likes. Alright, so let's get down to the good stuff. This one, you can't really tell unless you're in person, but it is the Raised the Crow card, but he's animated. It actually has some, like, you know, it's raised ink or whatever that's called. It's really awesome. I really like it. And it makes for a cool card, and it looks just fantastic. It's a beautiful trading card, and it's also just beautifully animated. So for all the animators and drawers out there, it's something to appreciate. And speaking of animation, here is the Hobgoblin. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains of all time, the Amazing Spider-Man. And this was the 94 Flair series. Very thick, the thick cards that you can cut a pizza with these, and that's one of my favorites. And speaking of Fleer, this is Fleer Ultra Jack-O-Lantern from 1995. Jack-O-Lantern is just yet another really favorite villain of mine. He's just a fantastic bad guy. I'm going to talk about Jack-O-Lantern or Hobgoblin. I'm going to show off my action figures. So there you go. Unfortunately, I don't have his cape, but there is Jack-O-Lantern and Hobgoblin from the 90s animated Spider-Man series. Up next, we got a foil card, and it's also a sticker, and it's also a Goosebumps cards. The Master of Scaramonies, we got Curly. Shout out to Colin Richards. So there you go. This was Topps 1996 Parachute Press Goosebumps trading cards. And speaking of foil cards, you're all going to laugh. But, oh yeah, you bet your ass I got some Elvira cards in here. You may have seen some of these before. Some of these might be doubles. But these are some of my favorites all-time photographs of Elvira. And then that leads into the world of horror. So, of course, we have our Fright Flicks cards and the Nightmare on Elm Street card right there. This is, I believe, from the second film. So really great stuff there. And then I think once again that may also be a promotional stilt from the second film because his mask looks a little bit more burnt, a little bit more cheese pizza-esque from that second movie. He was really fucked up looking in that one. And then you gotta love these red border cards. This is not Nightmare on Elm Street. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie trading card stickers. And there she is, the beautiful April O'Neil in all her glory. Great sticker right there. And speaking of red cards, we have Fright Flicks the Predator. So we're going back to Fright Flicks. And staying on Fright Flicks, we have the Pumpkin Head from the Pumpkin Head series. This is the monster that Lance Henriksen battles, of course. Do not forget, these are all stickers, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of yet another sticker card, we have Alf. And that is probably one of my all-time favorite cards. That's got to be up there, at least number 2 or number 3. Really cool. And then on the back is the puzzle sticker, and you can see Alf, the top of his head. Speaking of really awesome cards that I love, we have Eye Guy from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And you bet your ass, if we're talking the Power Rangers Eye Guy monster, I'm going to show off my Eye Guy monster toy. So, very cool stuff. You know, I wish I could have got more cards like that of the monsters in the Power Rangers pack. And then, swinging over to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I will definitely be doing more episodes on these cards. But this was probably one of my favorite cards because it's got all 4 of the original gang in there. And savoring their reward. And this is card number 88, so it is the end. So it's also kind of neat that this is the final card in that series of cards there. And then speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I have a Raphael. I believe this is a sticker. And that is the number 1 card right there. And then, of course, I have Master Splinter as a sticker. And then rounding out the end, of course, I have Sonic in the top cards because I've always been a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. So I need to give a little special shout out to him. I feel like Mario kind of overshadows him, but you got to give due where dues are, you know, fair. And then, of course, if not number 1, number 2, this is up there. This is Slimer, an animation of him, but from the film, and actually from the second film. So that is phenomenal. Some artwork of Slimer colored in and finished up, turned into a card. That is what trading cards are all about. Behind the scenes. And speaking of behind the scenes, look at this awesome close-up. And this is a Fright Flick card. Obviously, this is from the original Ghostbusters. And speaking of the back of the card, ladies and gentlemen, look at that look at that. I was gonna say glue. Look at that goo. It's goo from the gum. I can't stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen, that gum will destroy these cards depending on the condition that the cards are kept in. If it gets too hot, if it gets too cold, that gum is still going to interact with that card. And especially these old school cards from the 80s. I mean, we're talking 84 here. So, unfortunately, these cards, and if not 84, somewhere at that point in the 80s, but unfortunately, those cards got destroyed. Okay, so these are not the number 1 cards, but this is pretty close to being a number 1 card, only because of how funny it is and how much I love it, and it deserves to be the second to last card. This is not the final card, but this is the second to final card. This is the 1-900 $3 coupon clipper card from the Trash Can Trolls series. Who would have thought that I would have dug that deep in the barrel? But ladies and gentlemen, I did. And just take a look at that once again for that nightmare factor. I'm sorry for those that have seen this before and those that have not. Welcome to my nightmare. So yes, trolls in bras and bikinis and doing the whole hotline late night chat thing from the 90s. Maybe it was around in the 80s, maybe even the 70s. But there you go. Okay, so the final card. This is by no means my all-time favorite card. But man, if I had to pick one, it could possibly be. This isn't even a card, and this is not a sticker, and you're all going to laugh. This is a tattoo, but if it was in it was in a pack of trading cards, so it's considered a card. There it is, the Crow. I started with a Crow card, and I am ending with a Crow card. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to get this movie on VHS. But the Crow. Trading card series from 1996 by Bad Bird Productions. This is a temporary tattoo of a flaming crow. So there you have it. I'm ending all of this whole series on that trading card tattoo, temporary tattoo, trading card, temporary tattoo. So a TTT. Or a TCTT. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please leave comments. I put a ton of work and effort into these videos, so I really hope everybody enjoyed them. And of course, there will be a 5th and final Trading Cards Review Vault episode, and it will be the leftovers. So basically, all of the weird cards and strange cards and oddities and just stuff that I kind of ran out of time to talk about. And the best way to talk about them is just give them their own video. So stick around. Like all holidays, they have leftovers. And Jazzy Jeff has some for you. So that'll be the next episode. Thank you so much. I've had a blast this season. Let's keep it going. Take care.
Within this unsuspecting city, history's greatest experiment creates tomorrow's greatest superhero. Spider-Man, the movie. A live-action spectacular directed by Joe Zito, based on the characters created by Stan Lee.